Here we go. So I am going to record this video this evening. So welcome everybody to hang up your hang up your pain and unwrap pleasure. So this is going to be an amazing evening. And I'm just so excited to do this. Nathalie, I'm just wanting to record this, but I can't see when I'm looking at this, I can just see
Mhm.
you. I can't see
Mhm.
me.
That's okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, that's
Okay,
okay.
perfect.
You're good.
Thank you. I did this wrong last time and I did the whole thing and it was on gallery view and it was just like not cool.
No.
But anyway, here we go. Okay. So we are gonna do we're gonna have a really lovely evening tonight. Hang up your pain and unwrap pleasure is gonna take you through some really beautiful practices that me and Natalie are gonna share with you. Because it's Christmas time and I don't know about you, but even though it's such a beautiful time of year, there's also this tension. I think there's a real thing about milestones. And when it comes to Christmas time, it's a real milestone. Like, where were you last year? Where were you 10 years? And sometimes it's a time for a lot of people to reflect on what's happened in the year. And for some of us, that's really positive, and for some of us, that's quite painful. And there's also from the world which I work in, it is about thinking about getting older sometimes, and maybe issues which you hoped would have been better health-wise aren't yet better, and that can sometimes be quite challenging. So there's that element, and there's also just the element of if everything's fine and you don't have any kind of past stuff or health challenges, it is just Christmas on its own. It's family coming together. It's people seeing each other in a small proximity. And usually one or two people are really trying to like run the show. And those people are usually really missing out on the pleasure and the joy of Christmas because they're trying to make it really good for everybody else. So it's a real sort of there's two like polar energies with Christmas. There's like the really good stuff and then there's the really challenging stuff. And with energy, it acts very much like magnets. It's when you have a really, really high energy. If one person's in a really high space, that will sometimes push somebody to be in a lower space. And when you work in the energy world, like myself and Natalie do, and we really appreciate and understand that there it isn't just what we see as in what's right in front of us and our head and our body are like two separate things. There is a whole flow going through us. And for some of you, that will be like that's exactly where you are right now, and you understand that, and you're trying to tap into that. And for some people, that might be quite new. We've got quite a lot of people on the call this evening, so you're all going to be in different places. So I'd like you to just try and come to this evening on the understanding that there are other people right now listening to myself and Natalie, and we are a collective consciousness. So we have chosen to come together and spend time with ourselves and give ourselves the opportunity to should I say tackle Christmas, flow through Christmas, experience Christmas from a higher level because maybe we feel like we haven't got the tools to get through it in as happy and as clear and as grounded way as what we would like right now with our current thinking. So that's what we're going to go through this evening. We want to really kind of give you practices that you can do on Christmas Day, on Christmas Eve, on Boxing Day, through the whole year where you can actually come into yourself and you can release pain and you can tap more into pleasure. And that is where me and Natalie have just come together really beautifully because I work very much. So for those of you who don't know me, I am a chiropractor. I'm a professional registered chiropractor. I work in South Gyle, West Edinburgh. And my world is really about helping people heal. It's about increasing somebody's capacity to live with less pain, less tension, with more breath, more connection. So I'm very hands-on in my work. And in 2026, I'm going to be moving into the somatic life coach space, which I'm really excited about because it's just bringing in everything that I've learned. over the past 10 years so that I can actually help people who maybe aren't in Edinburgh. So that is my what I do. The reason why I'm so interested in this work and why I turn up every day with as much love and I turn up empty to work. And what I mean by that is that I don't bring my own stuff into work. And I think that's really, really important so that when you're working with other people, I know how to clear my own stuff so that when I'm touching somebody's back, when I'm touching such important parts of their neck, I'm not kind of, I'm not affecting their vibration. So it's a really important practice that I do every single day in order to help people heal and connect more with themselves. I mean, imagine if you went to go see a chiropractor or a massage therapist or even a doctor. I mean, you probably experienced this with a GP, to be fair, because they do live in a very kind of mental world of everything with rules, and they're not particularly somatic. So you might find being with a doctor quite stressful because you're picking up on their stress, you're picking up on their rushness. So somatic practices can help people not just in the healing space, but in the professional space as well. Because if you're there and you're grounded and you're centered, not only can you hang up pain and unwrap pleasure, which is what this evening's about, but you can really connect to yourself and trust yourself. Because when that signal is clear, you can actually receive feedback from your own body and your own wisdom. So hopefully I haven't lost you, but that is kind of the big picture of what where I'm coming from. And when I met Nathalie, we just sat there over coffee and we were just like talking from the same page on a different island. It was like her world is the same as my world, but completely mirrored because she works, and Nathalie's gonna explain what you do in a minute, Nathalie. But Nathalie very much works from the point of view of bringing people into safety and into their bodies, with the outcome being that they're going to become more connected. I'll let Nathalie explain that because she explains it way more better than I do. So this evening, I'm going to be talking you through some really beautiful practices which not only help you connect to your body with breath. If anyone works with me, they know how much of a fan I am of breathing. And in fact, some of the first things people say to me is when they work with me is, wow, I didn't realize how I couldn't breathe properly, right? So actually, we are all walking around with really amazing natural tools, which I'm going to teach you, which which you can use to create space in yourself. So I'm going to be going through that with you this evening. So that's a little bit about me. Oh, and a bit about my background. I am a mum. I have two children. I have a business. I have moved 3 times in the past 5 years. I come from London originally, and I come from a family of people that do hold a lot of tension in themselves. And so my big mission, if you like, in life is to try and keep myself grounded and calm and teach other people to do the same. Because we don't have to live in this high octane stress in ourselves, even when that's happening in life. So, Nathalie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Rosie. Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie. And so thank you for that introduction, Rosie, and blending in the work that you do with mine. My official title is Somatic Intimacy, Dating and Relationship Coach. So I work with the nervous system to help people understand why love, intimacy, and emotional connection can feel difficult at times. And I came to this work really after realizing that insight alone wasn't enough for me. So I could understand my patterns, I could talk about them brilliantly and intelligently, but I still felt that my body would brace or shut down in moments of real intimacy. And what was the missing piece for me was nervous system safety. And once I began working with my body and realizing the patterns in my nervous system, then that's where real change became possible for me. Now, people come to me because they're tired of repeating the same cycles in love. They've often done therapy, mindset work, personal development, yet they still feel reactive or guarded or even overwhelmed in relationships. So, what they're really seeking when they come to me is to feel steady in themselves. Yeah, as Rosie said, it's safety. It's to feel safe in themselves, clear in their boundaries, and able to stay present with themselves during connection and intimacy. And this work, I feel, matters a lot to me because when the body feels safe, then love stops feeling like a struggle. And not only love, actually, everything else in life stops feeling like a struggle when we feel safe in our bodies. And safety and regulation in the body is going to be the foundation we're going to explore today. So I'll pass it back to Rosie. Thank you.
I love listening to you speak, Natalie. You're just it's just so beautiful. Because do you know what I think is so important is that we're all human. And I know that in Britain particularly, there's that little like, oh, intimacy. Oh, I don't want to talk about my love life. And it's like I just love that you actually, with the work that you do, you absolutely hold space for other people to kind of check in on themselves. Um, so thank you for that.
Welcome.
Okay, so let's go to you, my beautiful people that are listening this evening. So, firstly, you can choose completely how much you embrace the work that myself and Natalie are going to go through with you this evening. For some of you, you might feel that you want to really allow yourself to drop into your body and to really use the work that we're going to be doing with you to really create some change, like the old fashioned kind of, not old fashioned, but one of the principles that I sometimes live by is like, if you're going to do it, go for it. Okay, if you're one of those people and you think I'm going to just really get into this and I'm going to really go for it, then I want you to just know that whatever comes up for you this evening, your nervous system will only allow you to process something that it feels ready to process. Because there's this really common belief. I want to say, particularly with men, um, because it's that masculine energy of like everything's fine, but women have it too. Is that if you go there, if you allow emotions to come up, then you're going to open the Pandora's box, right? And that just isn't the case. It's not like there's a little trap door in there with gremlins that are underneath that are trying to get out, that the moment you like dip the lid on it, it's just going to completely flood and overwhelm you. In fact, these practices are really designed to allow you to process what you can process. So for those of you that want to kind of really get into these exercises, I want you to know that what comes up for you this evening is meant to come up for you. Um, is 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 safe to process. And if you feel yourself being emotional, right? Because this is what this is about. This isn't like just let's talk about how to make a how to make a turkey dinner, right? We're talking about like deep stuff here. If you feel yourself being emotional and you feel that heart opening, tears flowing, I want you to just hold space with yourself. And what I mean by that is actually not just jargon. I want you to actually remember where you are in time and space. I want you to feel your feet on the floor. I want you to check in with your room. You can take your eyes away from the laptop. You can think, I've got this wall here, I've got this wall here, I've got the roof above me. I'm in a safe place. And sometimes just drinking a glass of water, or even if you do get really overwhelmed or upset for whatever reason, it's okay. I've got you. But just if you do feel like you need to just take a break, it's really good to just rub your hands together, get some heat in your hands, or even going and getting cold water on your face. The nervous system responds to a change of sensation. So if you're feeling yourself kind of at any point this evening or ever spinning, you need a shift, you need a change. So that's something I wanted to share with you for those of you that are like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I really want to like use this free event to clear some stuff. And then there'll be some of you that will come on this evening and you're just like, you know what, I like Nathalie, I like Rosie, someone told me to come, I'm come on with my friend, or I'm sat there with my partner, and maybe you don't really want to get into this, and that's absolutely fine. I completely, at the stage of life I'm at now, and Nathalie's the same, we completely believe in divine timing, and whoever is meant to be here and whatever is meant to happen will happen, particularly if you just allow rather than force. So, if you're somebody that just wants to listen, that's absolutely fine. That is what you are meant to do. So, whatever's meant to happen will happen. So, with emotions and feeling emotions, there is a little bit of science here, which is my clinical background, which I really love and it's really important to understand. Emotions are chemicals in your brain. Okay, that's what they literally are. They're neurotransmitters which get released by certain parts of your brain in response to a perceived thing. So your brain, your subconscious mind, doesn't actually know the difference between what is real and what is not real. And that's how we can become excited sexually if we're thinking about something. Nothing's happening, but we're thinking. It's how we can feel afraid and have nightmares, and we can wake up with fear. It's how we can feel excited about something that is just an idea. It's completely in your mind, which is coming up with an idea, and then your brain and your subconscious is responding. So when you feel an emotion, it's not a real experience. Okay, so what we like to do is we think, oh, I feel afraid, and therefore there is something to be afraid about. Or I feel sad, therefore it's something to be sad about. Or I feel angry, therefore it's real. And it's called, me and myself and Nathalie work with this amazing mindset coach, Gemma Gilmore, and she has taught us this, which is that we emotionalize issues where we have an emotion and we make it real. So that is what an emotion is. They also give us information, and they don't just live in our brain, they also are in our body. And that's a practice that we're going to go through this evening, which is about exploring where we feel emotion in our body. But even the most heightened emotion that you can possibly think of will only last, and this has been studied by a lovely lady at Harvard, I can't remember her name. It will only last for 2 minutes, okay, when you have an emotion, because the chemicals will peak and then they will go. If you allow them to go somewhere, if you swallow them and get them stuck and go, oh, I've got to hold it together, or I'm fine, or I can't feel like this, I can't break Pandora's box, then what happens is that energy, because energy is emotion is energy in motion, it literally gets stuck in our body. And from a very clinical perspective, what you're actually doing is that your nervous system is going, right, we're producing an emotion. And again, even if it's not real, it's producing an emotion. And if the immediate reaction from our higher self says, no, we cannot feel that, what you are signaling to yourself without anything even happening, you are signaling to yourself that you are not safe. Because it is not safe to feel emotions when you are in a fight. When you're in a life or death fight, you can't be standing there processing emotions when you're in that situation. So when you tell yourself, I have to hold it together, you're immediately activating your fight or flight mode. So when we are told, and we often people have been told for a really long time to suck it up, keep it together. Emotions are, not something that you can really show right now. And when you respond and you shut it down, that is actually you telling your nervous system that you're not safe on a real clinical, like deep level. And when you live in that fight or flight mode of being like, I have an emotion, shut it down. I have an emotion, shut it down. That is when you get perpetual chronic stress, because you're chronically telling yourself that you're not safe. And you might not logically be thinking that, but that is what's going on internally. So, coming back to what myself and Natalie have been talking about this evening, is the way to process emotional pain and secondary physical pain is to allow those emotions to come through you in a way that doesn't have a story attached to it. So when we have an emotion, what often happens, so let's say it's shame, let's say it's guilt. um we have an emotion which is triggered by a thought, and then what happens is we get stuck in that thought by and I do, and I mean this with like so much love. We all kind of indulge in it. We're like, oh my God, yes, and then that happened, and then this happened, and I did that, and oh, wasn't that awful? It's like we have an emotion, and then we like pull up a chair and get involved with it and go, yeah, let's really talk about that. Let's really goose that up. And we make that emotion mean something, and we replay a story. And what happens then is that that emotion doesn't go anywhere because it's like, oh yeah, we haven't processed this. Let's go through this story again. And then you don't it just goes back down into the body and gets stuck. So a lot of clients that I have physical pain which gets triggered by either thoughts or emotions, and often it is completely subconscious. So there's a lot there. Emotions are a huge subject, but I wanted to give you a flavor of what is happening. So if things are happening in your body over Christmas, I really would like you to give yourself permission to feel them, not get stuck in a story, and it will peak and it will go after 2 minutes. And you need to trust that that physiological process is what happens because your brain doesn't want to get stuck. And that's why it's really good to breathe and do the breathing practices that we're going to do with you this evening, because it gives your brain something to do when you're having this heightened emotion. Don't give it a story. And find make it okay for you to feel an emotion, and give yourself a little bit of love that you're a human being. And getting cross with yourself is like getting cross with a child, right? That's what this is. So don't try not to get cross with yourself for feeling something which your nervous system is feeling. So there's so much there that I've just shared. Some people that'll be a real big thing. So I'm going to pass it over to Natalie, who's going to do a beautiful thing with you now and explain the nervous system, and why Christmas activates it.
Thank you, Rosie. Thank you for that in-depth dive into the emotional landscape. Very important information there. So if for those of you who don't know me, I am a nervous system geek. I just love to study the nervous system. And I'm particularly interested why this time of year activates our nervous system for most of us, right? So before I dive in, I just want to give you a bit of context so that what we're going to practice tonight actually lands in your body. So if we think of the nervous system like a traffic light, now when we're regulated, we're in the green zone. Yeah, so we're connected, we're grounded, we're breathing well. And by breathing well, I mean our breaths are slower and deeper and even smoother. So this is us where we're experiencing presence, we're experiencing pleasure and humor and connection. And it's also known as the rest and digest, or if you want to get technical, it's the parasympathetic system, right? But seasons like Christmas time can tend to push us upward into the amber or red zones without us even noticing sometimes. So this is where we start to feel dysregulated. So we might be stressed, we might be anxious, we might even be short-fused and get really tetchy this time of year. And this is where we are then in the fight or flight or sympathetic nervous system. Now, why does this happen, especially around Christmas? Now, this time of year brings up a lot for people, right? It can be old stories, family expectations, financial stress, right? Everything is quite expensive, then we have to buy gifts for everyone. Some memories, some grief, maybe even loneliness if we've lost someone. It's a very overstimulating time of year, right? So much coming at you at the same time. And there's then this pressure to be jolly and happy, even when you're not. And your system then goes, oh, hold on, this is familiar. So I would better protect you. And suddenly you're not in the green anymore. You're now in survival mode. Now, I want to say that survival mode isn't a flaw. It's actually your body doing what it's designed to do, right? It's keeping you safe. And the good news is that you don't need to fix your nervous system because it is an intelligent system doing exactly what it needs to do. But what we need to do is gently guide it back to the green zone. Yeah, and this is what these practices are going to help you with today. So tonight we're going to walk through this path together in 3 beautiful steps. So first we're going to feel our feelings in a safe way, and then we're going to regulate gently, and then we're going to reopen to pleasure as a gateway into connection. So I'd like to begin with the first step, and this is learning how to actually feel what's in the body without getting swept away by the story. So this is our first practice of the evening. So I'd like to just open the space for everyone to get comfortable. So finding a nice nest for yourself with cushions and blankets, or maybe you're in a comfortable chair already. And just make sure that your body can completely relax without holding any tension. And wherever you are, just let yourself get 5% more comfortable. So it doesn't have to be anything dramatic, just maybe a softening of the shoulders, softening of the jaw, softening of your belly. And begin to notice your breath. As I said earlier, the breath can be almost a signal of what your internal landscape is like right now. So notice if your breath is fast or slow, if it's deep or shallow, if it's smooth or rough. And then just begin slowly to deepen your breath, taking inhales from the nose, filling up your lungs, and exhales through the mouth, just letting it all go. And just dropping into your body. I'd like to invite you now to bring to mind something about Christmas or the season in general that feels a little tender for you. So try not to choose such a big thing, maybe something small enough that you can stay present with it. So it could be something like, all the gifts you haven't gotten yet, or a family member you're not so keen to meet on Christmas Day, or worrying about whether the turkey is going to be dry, something like that. Or for those of you who actually are experiencing physical pain right now, maybe picking something that is more pronounced in your body with that sensation. And once you bring this situation to mind, I just invite you to just let it float there in your consciousness, bringing this scenario or activation to mind. And now, instead of thinking about it, I'd like you to drop into the body and notice what sensations are alive with you as you think about this scenario. So noticing anywhere in the body that's speaking to you first. So just take your time with this. And you might feel a sensation in your chest. You might feel something in your throat. You might feel something in your stomach. Or maybe it's a sense of heaviness somewhere. Somewhere feels quite heavy today. It could be a tightness or contraction. It could even be a tingling. Whatever it is, just notice the sensation and completely let go of the story. So, whatever you made that situation mean, letting that fade into the background and bringing your felt sense, body sensation into the foreground. And again, staying with the sensation and not the story. And once you pick the sensation that's most alive for you, because you might have picked up on several, but choosing the one that is more pronounced. And we're going to gently describe this sensation to ourselves internally. So first noticing if this sensation has a color. And it might not have a color, there's no right or wrong here, but just notice if it does. And if it does, what color might that be? And then noticing if it might have a temperature. Is this sensation hot or cold or warm? Or maybe there's no temperature at all. And the key here is just to notice without judgment, without wanting to change anything, just bringing this curiosity. And then seeing if this sensation has a shape. Maybe it's big and round. Maybe it's a small cube. Maybe it's like a knot. Whatever it is, see if it has a shape. And with that shape, again, notice with curiosity if it might have a texture. Maybe the sensation is rough. Maybe it's smooth. Maybe it's scaly, like fish scales. Maybe it's pointy. Whatever it is, just notice with curiosity. And then see if it's moving at all, or maybe it's completely still. Maybe it has a pulse, or maybe it's completely static. And if you're noticing nothing at all, this is also welcome. So numbness is also a sensation. And for those of you who are maybe feeling a bit numb here, I invite you to see how you feel about the numbness. What's your feeling around feeling numb? And there's no wrong outcome here. But just breathe slowly in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just let the sensation be exactly what it is. And now I'd like to see if you can offer it just a moment of gratitude. And not because it might feel too good to you right now, it might feel uncomfortable, but showing it gratitude because this is information. It's as if through these sensations, your body is telling you, this matters, and I'm holding this for you. So if you could whisper it to it gently, thank you for showing me where I'm holding this. And just notice if the sensation changes at all after you show it this gratitude. And when you're ready, take one slow inhale and a longer exhale. And let your body know that you're here and you're listening and you're safe. And then slowly returning to your body, returning to your breath, bringing some gentle movement and fluttering the eyes open. And you might want to look around you before looking at the screen and orient, maybe looking at your nearest exit or your window or the ceiling, and then looking at the screen. Okay. So I'm going to pass to Rosie now. She's going to help us deepen into this through breath and parts integration.
Thank you for Nathalie. I've just released a huge amount of tension in my back.
Very good.
And do you know what I want to do? I would really love people to just drop into the chat what they noticed about their body right now. Maybe something that they didn't know was there. Just like just a little sentence, just a little note. Maybe they noticed they had like I will share what happened just with me. I realized because I've got scoliosis, my back's really uneven. And I just noticed I had like a huge amount of tension just on one side, like a band, and I felt it as like Velcro. And I just, because of all the work that I've done with my spine, I know how to like breathe and move. And that's what we're going to go through now, is I want to teach people how to actually move, tightness across the back of my head. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. That is like everything's fine, Rachel. That is everything's fine. Anyone else?
Heidi shared a new image associated with a long held tightness in my hip. Thank
Yeah,
you, Heidi. Yeah.
hip. I've seen really bad hip pain, which has been caused by grief, really old grief, which turns into an actual like osteoarthritis. Tension in the pit of my stomach. The stomach is a big one, really real big one. That's like literally our second brain, right?
Nick says that she felt this gray concave energy in her throat. And Heather, my eye and head was held. A lot of tension post cataract operation. Felt a lot of heat. Yeah.
Heat is healing.
Yeah. Tension. Yeah. We said that the round, flat, but fat disc on my chest from Carol, and then tight throat and burps. Oh, truth burps every second while breathing. Beautiful, Carol.
Instant loosening across my heart. I mean, the heart space literally contracts when it wants to protect us. It contracts to keep us safe. And so when that is loosening, there will be some tears. Maybe not right now, but there will be.
Yeah. Yeah, and Liz
So
says stuck, spiky shape through the head, neck, and shoulders. Wow. So yeah, there's a lot of noticing here, a lot of really, strong sensations. And these are all information, as I said. So these are ways that we could use this information as gateways to drop into the body. And, even if they might be a little bit uncomfortable to start off, or we might not want them to be there, but just being present with them actually helps us to move through them. So, yeah, lovely. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone.
Okay. So we are going to go into a technique which I teach my clients in day workshops, which are face to face. It's called the 12 stages of healing, and I'm just going to give you guys a kind of a blend of a few of the stages. Um, and I'm just going to take you right there because I don't want people to kind of lose that presence with themselves. So if you just follow what I'm saying, what I want you to do is take your hands and rub them together, get heat into your hands, and I want you to place one hand over the other so that you're almost bringing in energy from one hand over the other. So you haven't got like loose fingers, you're tight here. And we're just gonna go to the position two. Sometimes we do position one or two or three, but for the purpose of this evening, we're just gonna go to position two, which is just where the ribs separate. So it's just in here. So we're going to go one hand over the other and we're going to hold it there. Okay. So, so I'd like you to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now, what I would like you to do in this practice is just focus on this position. So I want you to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And this is a little bit more energetic. I want you to actually really breathe into the space underneath where your hand is. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I want you to, as you're sat here or lying down, I want you to use your spine, use your body to move and allow that breath to travel more into where your hand is by focusing on movement alone. So how it looks like in my body is we are here, and we're so I'm not moving on any other part of my body other than everything that helps this space. And what I'd like you to do is as you take a deep breath in, really, really stretch yourself so you are absolutely at your max. And that feels quite uncomfortable. And then I'd like you to breathe out and just gently push the hands in so that you're connecting with your spine. So you are breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and you are moving so that you're actually getting a little bit of energy and a little bit of motion into this contact point, this position point here. Okay, so once you've got the rhythm and you're in through the nose, out through the mouth, I'm just going to do this for a few moments with you so I can get into it. When you breathe out now, there's going to be a moment where your nervous system actually relaxes. It goes into a vegetative state. It lets go. The whole body lets go. So we're going to find that together. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. And on the out breath, we're going to gently press in and we're going to wait and find that place where our nervous system relaxes. There. And for me, I can feel tingles and heat in my neck and in my arms. And I can feel that place where the nervous system lets go. It's where the parasympathetics kick in. Now you've got the movement. I want you to just focus there. And notice on that out breath, you're telling yourself you can take a lovely long out breath. You're emptying your lungs. Your subconscious is getting the signal that you are safe, you're breathing outwards, you're letting go, you're moving so that you have control, because your brain loves feeling in control. You have control over the breath. And for me, it's almost like a feeling of lying down. So when you lie down on a pillow and you just go like that sinking feeling. So connect to that out breath. So you have that zone of calm. Now, what I would like you to do now is I would like you to place one hand on your just underneath your on your breastbone here, and one hand here. And what we're going to do is we are going to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, into the space where we've been working, where we've got that connection. And then we are going to send energy, light, breath, whatever you can picture most, up into your upper hand. So you're going to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth into position 1. And then up the spine, in through the nose, out through the mouth. So you're actually starting to get movement from one breath space to another. So you're actually starting to get 2 points moving with alternate breaths. So it's in through the nose, out through the mouth, and you're now, it's important when I ask you to say the next few words, I want you to say it in your mother tongue, okay? If your younger self wouldn't have understood you, then say it. You need to say it in the tongue which you were the first language that you were raised in, okay? So as we're really aware of these 2 different areas, one area we've worked really well, we've got really good connection. The other area might feel good, might feel a little bit more disconnected. I want you to say, some parts of me have joy, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And some parts of me have sadness. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Parts of me are so excited. And parts of me have fear. Noticing the differences between those 2 areas and the 2 different things that you're saying and how it feels in the body. Parts of me have pain, and parts of me have ease. And now, if there's something that you want to say, which I haven't said, sometimes parts of me have confidence, parts of me have fear, parts of me have love, parts of me have anger. I want you to say it on the next breath. So in through the nose, out through the mouth, sending that oxygen up and down between those 2 points. And now, I'd like you to let out a great big belly laugh. Let it out if you're not doing it. I want you to hear yourself laughing. Parts of me are all different, but they are all parts of me. Parts of me are all different, but they are all parts of me. Now releasing the hands, palms up, and just letting them rest by your sides or on your lap. And just feel that duality of those 2 different emotions, those 2 different feelings, those 2 different areas that we've been working on. And I'm going to invite you to remember this Christmas that there are always 2 sides of you, often 2 opposing sides, which one part of you has anger. There is another part of you that has so much love. Parts of you have pain, but there are parts of you that are free. Because we are never all and entirely one thing. But whatever shouts the loudest tends to be what we listen to. But we can choose. And it's not about ignoring the part of you. that isn't as pleasant or isn't as comfortable. It's about understanding that there are parts of you that are really in a good place and parts of you which are out of balance. But when you are aware of that, you can open your senses, open your experience, and not get stuck in one of those energy states or one of those physical states. Now, there are 12 stages of healing, and that is stage 2, which is about the duality, the different parts of us. And I'm not going to go through any more. That was really beautiful, and I felt that was really needed. So I'm gonna ask if anybody wants to share anything in the chat, something which maybe they noticed about themselves, maybe a part of them that they felt that they focus on more and they're ignoring another part. I know for me, it's very easy to get focused on the doing and the going, and actually the other part of me that needs to rest. The experience of pressure rather than the experience of just ease. Drop it into the chat if you have anything to share. How did you find that, Nathalie?
Yeah, I found that really, I had tingling all over my body when we did the duality practice, that accepting of, both parts or both of our polarities, because we tend to get stuck in either one or the other. And when we combine that with the breathing, it did something really powerful in my body, and it gave me this surge of warmth almost from where we were breathing here in the breastplate throughout, like a sensation throughout my body, and it was really, really beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Carol says she feels very light in her hands and they are warm and tingly.
Is
Yeah.
yawning a sign of nervous system? Yeah, it
Yes. Yes.
absolutely. It's your nervous system actually releasing tension. Um, experience of freedom in the laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the laugh. I love the laugh. It was such a good one.
You know what? You have to really do that to get out of that practice because it can feel quite overwhelming.
Mhm.
Um, and my hands feel amazing. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, warm them up. Everyone, like, rub your hands together. Confused during the process. Yeah. To be completely honest with you, Janie, this is something that I do in person. And there's a whole stage 1 that I didn't do because Nathalie did some of it. So I'm not surprised if some of you couldn't quite keep up. But you get the idea that there are different parts of you. There you can send your breath into different areas. There are different energy states, and you are not all one thing or another. So it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the whole thing with this work. It
Mm.
doesn't have to be done like to the T. It is an experience that you're giving yourself.
Okay, I'm mindful of time, Rosie. We
Yeah, I
are
mean,
at
me too.
7, so we've
Me
got
too.
15 minutes.
Yeah, I think we
Um,
should do the pleasure
yes,
protocol. Yeah,
yes. We'll do the pleasure practice and then we can start to bring it to a close.
yeah.
Um, Marlene, my feeling is guilt at the moment as I have lost 2 pets and feel I maybe don't do enough. Yes, Marlene. That's always, guilt shows up a lot when we experience loss. So your feelings are so valid, and feeling sad is an absolute valid feeling. So we feel you, Marlene. I feel you. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to step into now, we're going to open up to pleasure. So we felt our feelings, we've regulated, we've welcomed different parts of ourselves. Now let's experience pleasure. And this is where I come alive. I don't know if you're noticing my face right now. I'm beaming because when I speak of pleasure, I just come alive. So I'll say something small. It's an introduction about pleasure, and then we'll drop into the practice. I just want to say that pleasure isn't a luxury, but it's a medicine. So a lot of us think that pleasure needs to be earned or worked towards or it's used as a reward, but pleasure is actually our birthright. So when our nervous system is in the amber or the red zone, our body is organized around protection, right? So our breath shortens, our muscles tense, and everything kind of focuses, narrows into survival. Now, pleasure sends the opposite signal, right? So when you slow down, and slowing down to me is a fundamental element for experiencing pleasure. When you slow down and truly savor something, whether that's a taste or a warmth or someone's touch, then your body gets a clear message that I am safe right now. Yeah, so that message doesn't go through your thinking brain, it goes straight to the nervous system. And that's why it kind of bypasses your cognitive area of your brain. And what happens is that pleasure then starts to soften the body, it lengthens the breath, and it's going to bring your system back towards the green zone. And this is where connection and presence and ease live. So I want to really send a message that pleasure isn't an indulgence, it's actually a regulation tool. At least that's how I love to see it. So I'd like to talk about why pleasure is, a really big part of this, because what I'd like to invite us into is to slow down and experience a sensation of taste. So this is where we invited you to bring two treats, whether that's chocolate you've brought with you or any sweets or fruit or whatever you've chosen today. For those of you who don't have anything or weren't aware to bring anything, I'm just going to give just a few seconds, moments for you to grab something, and it has to be two. It could be two of the same thing. So give you a few moments to do that. All right. So we're going to do this in two steps. Again, make yourself comfortable. Make sure you're nice and cozy in your nest. And have these two items to hand. And they have to be items that you can put in your mouth, right? Something edible. So we're going to pick up the first piece of food. And I invite you not to think about it and just eat it the way you normally would. So just put it in your mouth and eat it the way you would on a normal Wednesday evening in front of the TV or whatever you might be doing. And yeah, just I invite you to do that now. And I want you to notice as you do that how fast it disappears, right? So, it goes in a few seconds. And notice also how little you actually experience it. And it will be, might leave an aftertaste, but your mind might go to something else and you might not even notice the aftertaste most of the time. So this is how most of us move through December, right? We move through it quickly, automatically. We sometimes miss those tiny moments of sweetness that could probably anchor us into our body. And I'd just like this to be a metaphor almost, the way we rush to eat a treat as a metaphor for how we rush through life, and how we rush through this season of the year. And I like to compare it to, ever since I would say a few years ago, I started to celebrate the solstice more than I celebrate the Christmas. Because solstice is about darkness and slowing down and appreciating the hibernation of this time of year. So, and then you contrast that with all the chaos and action that happens over Christmas. So I would take then this first piece of food as that chaos, and now moving into the slowness and the stillness. So after you're ready, make sure you've swallowed. Maybe you want to take a drink of something. Give you a few moments to do that. Okay. So now we go into the second part of this practice. So picking up your second piece of chocolate or fruit, wherever it is, and don't eat it just yet. So I invite you to just look at it. So bring it maybe in front of your, right in front of your face, in your hand, and really take a look at it. So notice the texture, notice the color. Maybe it has a certain shine. Maybe the light hits it in a certain way. And really notice all the contours. Maybe it has a specific shape. And really take your time to just be with this object in front of you. And then we're going to slowly just bring it to your nose and smell it. And this is where we use our senses as a method of exploring sensuality, but also pleasure. So we're going to really smell it in a way that we're picking up notes. Maybe it smells creamy, or maybe it smells nutty, or maybe it smells sweet. Maybe it smells spicy. And see what notes you can pick up from this little treat. And just let that scent go straight into your brain. And maybe you get memories as you smell this. Maybe an image comes to mind. Maybe you feel something in your body that reminds you of a time when you smelt this for the first time, or taking you back to a pleasurable moment. And just notice that. Just really notice what comes up for you. And then slowly, I'd like you to move this treat and just rest it against your lips. So let your mouth almost anticipate that this tasty treat is about to enter the mouth, but not just yet. Just tease it just a little bit. And just notice what you notice in your body. Like, what is the urge right now? What does your body want to do? Does it want to go and just take a bite? Or does it actually want to relax and allow the slowness to take hold? And now you can slowly just place it on your tongue. And I encourage you to resist the urge to bite. So just put this lovely, tasty object in your mouth, on your tongue, and just let it melt, or let the juice flow out of it if it's a piece of fruit. Or maybe you want to just suck on it lightly if it's a sweet. And really let your tongue explore it. So you might want to use your tongue as if it's like a hand, and you're curious about what this object is. And you may also want to notice where you feel the taste. So if it's a sweet thing, just notice where you feel the sweetness. Is it on the front of the tongue? Is it on the back of the tongue? Is it on the sides? Same if maybe it's a salty thing. Again, notice, where do you feel that taste of savory goodness? And as much as you can, resisting the urge to bite, just let it settle on your tongue, exploring it, noticing, and drop into your body. What are you noticing in your body as you experience these sensations? Maybe there's a warmth that's spreading somewhere in your body. And just allow yourself to receive the pleasure of this moment fully, slowly, and gently. And taking slow inhales and even slower exhales. And just let the pleasure move through your system. And before we close this practice, maybe bringing one tiny thread of gratitude, maybe gratitude for the chocolate or the treat, gratitude for your body, gratitude for this moment, for being here. And gratitude carries one of the highest frequencies, and it actually amplifies whatever pleasure is present for you. So just let yourself feel that for a breath or two. You might want to finish eating your treat. I give you permission to bite if you wish. And then returning to your body, you might want to bring some gentle movement, some stretches, some yawns, some shakes, some wiggles, whatever feels good. And if your eyes are closed, to slowly flutter the eyes open and look around you. And then coming back to the screen. Okay, I hope that was pleasurable for everyone. And maybe it's something you can remember to indulge in with your next Christmas treat over the next few weeks. So yeah, I'm gonna pass on to Rosie. I think we have a mini integration before we close.
That was so nice. I didn't bring anything with me.
It's
Just
just my words then.
yeah, yeah. It's just your words. And I was just like all I kept thinking about was a galaxy, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the shop and I'm gonna buy
Mm,
a galaxy
mhm.
chocolate bar after this.
Absolutely.
The thing is that you can do that practice for taste, but you can also do it for smell. You can do
Yeah.
it for touch.
Hmm.
So when you hug someone at Christmas, that's a really lovely little anchor. This is just coming through of being like, when you hug someone, really hug them, feel their warmth, their heartbeat, feel them in front of you, bring gratitude for them being there and coming to see you, or you going to see them and that you're together. Um, and just experiencing everything turned up, because when we're in pain, when we have all the emotional stuff that we're trying to squash down, we miss it, right? We miss it. So that's it. Okay, so I am just going to give everybody just a little minute to just I'm going to do a tiny meditation with you, just to kind of close this evening before me and Nathalie tell you what amazing offers we have for you to work with us should you want to in 2026. So I'd like to invite you just to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, which is just the calming breath. It's a safety breath. And I'd like you to just bring your awareness down to your feet. Down to your feet. Think about your toes, the pressure underneath the soles of your feet. Your feet that have carried you around in this life and all day doing whatever you want to do. And then bringing your awareness up to your knees. Make sure they're not tight or buckled. or holding unnecessary tension around your knees or anywhere in your legs. And now breathing down to your lower back and your pelvis. Just mentally scan the lower back, the, the glutes, all the muscles in the pelvis. Are you clenching? Is anything holding which you weren't even aware of? Just breathing and letting that all go so that you're not holding tension, holding guarding. Pelvis is a big thing about stability. So sometimes we have so much pain and tension in our lower back because we feel unstable. So let it go, you're safe. Breathing into your belly. Imagine all the tissues in your stomach being filled with oxygen. You don't need to hold on to them. You don't need to hold tension in your tummy. You can let that go. Breathing the breath right down into your lower rib cage, allowing it to expand on the in breath, like you're opening wings, and then you're breathing out and then letting go. Bring your awareness into your shoulders. Even after everything, how are they still holding on? You can take a deep breath in. You can actually increase the tension if you want. And then let it go. And let it go more. Think about your hands, your amazing hands. Rub your hands together. They do whatever you want them to do. We are blessed with amazing abilities in our hands. It's why we are the way we are, and why where we are, we're the human in the animal kingdom. We're at the top because of our hands and our brain. Relax your face, any tension around your eyes. And I'd invite you to actually rub your hands together so you actually warm your hands up. And just place them over your hands. And you can do this with lavender oil or essential oils or something which smells really nice. And just gently, without pressing, just gently stroke your hands from your forehead, over your eyes, under your eyes, over your cheeks, down your neck, over your torso, down to your legs, down to your knees. If you can reach your feet, down to your feet, but if not, just visualize them. Just be aware of the whole of you. And you were given a human when you were born. You were given a human to look after. It's the most important human that you will ever look after. So make a call every day to look after your human. Because your human is you. Thank you. Right, my beautifuls. That was amazing. I love this evening. And I know that it's 7:20, so we are 5 minutes over. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, thank you, Lisa. Hope you've had a lovely evening, Lisa. It's been so nice sharing these practices with you, and it really is the tip of the iceberg. I get told a lot that my voice sends people to sleep. So you can by all means connect with me on social media because I do a lot of videos which people like to listen to. They find it they find it relaxing. I have no idea why my London tones are not my favorite, but there we are.
Thank
Um,
you, everyone. We're getting so many thank you messages. It was an absolute honor and pleasure to be with you tonight. So we just have a little bit before we log off.
yeah, two
Um,
minutes.
just just telling you how if you want to connect further with us, if you want to explore the work that we do, we have beautiful offerings that are we're happy to share with you. So would you like me to start, Rosie?
Yeah, absolutely, Nat.
Yeah. Yeah. So before we wrap up, then I'm just going to share something for those of you maybe that felt a lot tonight. Maybe there was emotions there. They could be related to relationships, connection, and intimacy. So if you noticed places in your body that still hold old stories from the past, or maybe your nervous system is still protecting you from intimacy or closeness, then this is where I come in. This is where I can support you more deeply. So I'm really excited about offering something that I'm calling the Love Audit. Now, the Love Audit is designed to give you a complete picture of how your nervous system and attachment patterns and emotional history shape your current love life. So, in it, I start off by actually sending you a questionnaire. Now, these are very beautifully crafted set of questions that uncover your love patterns, your emotional tendencies, the way your body responds in certain situations, and the hidden beliefs shaping your relationships. Now, this alone, filling this questionnaire alone, already brings a lot of clarity for the people who've worked with me already. And what I do then is I take your answers from that questionnaire and I create your own personal love audit report. So I go through your answers and I go through them slowly and somatically. And what I do is I uh, I give you a video. Basically, you'll receive a 30-minute video where I reflect back to you the pattern that you're stuck in, how it formed, and what it protects, the nervous system responses beneath it, the specific dynamics that are maybe keeping you in a loop. I also discuss your attachment tendencies and what needs to shift for you emotionally and somatically. And then at the end, I also give you what your missing piece is that's going to unlock healthier and safer love for you. So you receive that in a 30-minute video, and you'll also get a written summary as a PDF to go with that. And on top of that, you'll also get a 30-minute integration call with me to discuss all that I share with you. So you can discuss the report, you can ask questions, and all the insights that have landed in your body. So many people say that this is the moment everything clicks for them as they get this picture. So the love audit is normally £222, but tonight, because you're all here, I'm offering a 15% discount code to the first 3 people who email me with their love goals for 2026. So if that feels like your next step, I'll pop the link in the chat. So you'll have the link to my love audit, and I'll put my email address there. And the first 3 people to email me with their love goals for 2026, I'll give them the 15% discount code. And for those who don't make the first 3, there's still a little gift for you as well. So don't worry. So I'm going to pop the link in the chat now. That's the love audit, and my email address is right there. Okay.
You're an amazing woman, Nathalie. I know so many clients, both on the call and people who want the recording, that really need to work with you because I'm getting them moving, I'm getting them feeling better, I'm getting them releasing all the tension, and now they're ready to
Yes.
actually connect.
Mm.
So it's just a perfect sort of bridge for so many of my clients.
Mm.
Okay. So this is just a big hello really from me. I am a very hands-on practitioner at the moment. So if you are not in the Scotland area, this wouldn't be for you. But my practice is in South Gyle. I work as a chiropractor. I use energy-based techniques, and I am really for people who are open to there being more to it than just a physical issue. So it's not, I don't crack people into place. That's not me. I don't see people for quick fixes. I don't believe in them. I see people that want to increase their capacity for healing. Because when your nervous system is clear, and I work completely through the spine, so your spine houses your nervous system. So when your spine is moving properly, we are able to then function better and we have a greater capacity for healing. So when you have got chronic pain, when you've got pain that moves, pain that comes and goes, maybe physiotherapy hasn't helped, maybe massage doesn't help, maybe stretching doesn't help, and there's just this physical stuckness, I work with you, and I work with you face to face. And so I will drop my link as well to actually just email me, so that we can have a conversation about whether I'm the right practitioner for you, and how we can move forward with your care. The other very exciting thing is that from February 2026, I am going to be opening 3 slots to work with me one to one, as a life coach, with the somatics being our lead thread. So this is for people who have built an amazing life. They've built like a good job, they've built a business, they have got a good family, but they just live in stress and they can never really enjoy the moment. And they find themselves getting overwhelmed, burnt out, exhausted, and just skipping, so that they're not connecting with themselves. And when you're not in that place, you might want to make changes, but you can't. So that is my speciality, is getting people to connect with themselves, tune in with themselves, so that they can actually move forward in their lives and make big transformations. So if that is something that you feel you need, maybe you haven't thought about a life coach before. I'm not a counselor, but I'm someone that can take you through the thread from being living in stress and overwhelm to being free and connected and enjoy the day to day and be there when it's not so good. So I'm going to be opening up 3 spots to work with me online from February 2026. And again, please email me if this is something that you feel called to me. I'm not for everybody, but if you want my voice in your ear and me in your pocket, then I'm the person to then this is then you've met me, right?
You have
Okay.
several accolades in the chat there, Rosie. Lots of people who've worked with you have amazing experiences. Just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I just want to share what Lisa has put. Lisa Thompson, she has done the inner work. She's done it all. She's written it down. This is not confidential, confidential. She's done the inner work. She's an amazing, you're Lisa, you're amazing, and I love you. I love all my clients, and Lisa's journey has been really special because literally she came in, and within the first 2 sessions, it was like, wow, because she'd done everything else was in place. We just needed to connect that mind, body, nervous system experience, and then all the work that she's done before has just come together. Amanda, you're beautiful. Everybody on here that works with me, you know that I love
Mm,
you. So that is
thank
it.
you.
We're a little bit over, but it's Christmas, so who's running to a schedule.
I also want to say that you'll receive all this in the follow-up email when you get the recording. So you'll also have links for to reach us, links to our offerings. So don't feel that you've missed out, whether you're live or are watching the recording, you will get the information from us. And yeah, so before we say good night to everyone, we just want to leave you with one gentle reflection, Rosie and I. So today, guys, you've practiced three things that most people go their entire lives avoiding. So feeling your emotions safely, regulating, and letting in pleasure. So I'd like to invite you that these skills change everything, not just for Christmas, but also for your life, your connection, your love, your relationships. So to anchor this in, we'd like to invite you just to reflect during the holiday season. What is one small pleasure you are choosing for yourself this Christmas? And I'm just going to leave it in there.
Thank you, Natalie. I need to go and put my children to bed now.
Okay, perfect timing.
Good
Okay,
night,
thank you everyone
everybody.
for joining us. Merry Christmas, happy
Merry
solstice.
Christmas.
Christmas. Good night. Thank you.